Oh my gosh. Hello, welcome to Charity Tuesdays. Listen, when you're on your second segment, it's kind of like bananas. Anyways, I'm not gonna sing the song because that's kind of my favorite. But welcome to Charity Tuesdays Part 2. Part 2. Boop, boop, boop. Anyway, so I want to let you know what's the resource for today. If you tuned in to the Cancer Care series, you probably already know, and guess what it is? But it is National, and I put that extra on there, National Black Children's Book Week. That's the resource. So all you have to do is listen to this segment and you'll get all the information that you need, how to follow, how to support, how to start it in your own city or state or wherever that you may be. I mean, you're gonna get the whole 9 yards. So are y'all ready? And then we also have, hold on, let me just tell you, I also had a friend. I tagged a friend along too. We got a shout out to Grace. Y'all, you know I talk about Grace every now and then with my little friend. But anyway, so Grace is also going to join us too. So let's bring them in. Welcome. Hello, Veronica.
Hi, how you
Hi,
doing?
how are you? Hey, Grace.
Hi.
Grace is wearing her cute glasses today, y'all. Y'all see them? Those are special.
So cute, so
So
cute.
cute.
I'm like, I
So
don't even
cute.
wear glasses, but I'm inspired. I'm like,
It's
I'm like,
like
I'll
I
show
need to
you, I
get a
got something for
pair.
me. Right.
Okay, so how are you guys doing?
Good. Doing
I'm doing
well.
pretty well. Yeah, I'm doing pretty well. You know?
Oh, is it warm in your neck of the woods, Veronica?
No, it's a little chilly.
A
I'm
little
in a,
chilly.
yes, I'm in New Jersey.
Oh no, it's probably snow on the ground right now.
There is some snow on the ground. Not as much as not as much as I remember in my childhood, but we do have some.
Oh, okay. Well, keep that over there. Don't bring it this
It's
way.
cold where I am too. No, it's not. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay, she said it's cold. Okay. But anyway, so welcome, ladies. I appreciate you guys coming on Share the Tea Tuesday so we can talk about the exciting thing that's happening next week. Do y'all hear that noise?
I do, and I was like, maybe it's me. I unplugged,
What is that?
I don't
What
know.
technology? You got one job.
Technology tries to play us, but
You got one job. What is that? It sounds like a you know what it sounds like? It sound like a record player.
I
Like an
know.
old record player. Y'all know what record players are, like, don't
Yes.
don't tell my age. Okay. You know how you know how it gets skipping just a little bit. I don't know what that is.
We didn't have it
Okay.
in the pregame, so
I know. See?
we did it.
We didn't. Now as soon as we hit live, somebody make it make sense. I'm not understanding, but it's okay. We're not gonna worry about it. We're gonna let the record play. We're gonna let that
hmm
do whatever it's doing. All right, so we're excited to have you. And I just want to say, ever since I discovered you on Instagram, it had been at least maybe 3 years ago when I discovered you. I'm just like, ooh, she is doing phenomenal work. So tell us from the
Oh.
beginning, how did you create Black Children's Book Week?
Okay, so well, this is the beginning, and then there's the beginning.
The
But
beginning.
the beginning is I I really love finding creative ways of teaching things and creative ways of addressing social issues. So I am the founder of a company called Box Out, which means to think outside the box to design creative solutions for social change. And
Mm,
it has evolved a bit, but when I first started, I held educational workshops for teenagers, mostly Black teenagers in Boston, in libraries in Boston and after school programs. And I remember, when you're like, if you're doing programming, you're like lugging stuff. Like I was lugging stuff from one part of the city to the other part of the city. I was like, this is so exhausting, but it was fun. It's like when you get there, you're like, oh my gosh, this is so great. Like the kids are really engaged. But I remember at one point thinking, there's only so much impact I can have if it's me going from like after school program to library and I also remember thinking like that I work directly with teenagers primarily. And I was like, some of the things I'm trying to convince them of, like of their potential for greatness, of like, you know, wanting them to believe in themselves, like it would be so much easier if they already like had that. they already believed in this almost earlier. Because by the time they're teenagers, the fun thing about working with teenagers, you be like, now you know you're tripping, like stop playing, and they won't start crying. You said that to elementary school, they be like, what do you but teenagers like, all right, Veronica, I now they say Cap. This was before Cap came out. It was still tripping when I was doing these programs. But anyway, I was like, how can I even reach kids at an earlier age? And I was like, oh, you know what? I could come out with a children's book just like that. Like I never had any aspirations of writing anything, but I was inspired to start writing children's books for this reason of wanting to solve my problem of additional impact and having a positive impact on kids, Black children, especially at a younger age. So that began my journey as an author. I published a book called I Know I Can, Yo Sé Que Puedo en Español. And I was just like, oh my goodness, like going to events, well, I know Grace knows, you're not an author yet, V, but we're about to induct you into this lifestyle. But seeing kids interact with your book and, I would get like messages from parents like, okay, I thought my kid had good self-esteem, but whatever you put in that book, you know how they talk about your cookbook, V, like whatever you laced it with, it works. So I was like, positive things only, of course. So I was like, okay. So I was like out promoting my book, and I would be at all these vending events. Grace knows, she at the events, you meet all these authors, and it's like a great experience. And every time I was be at this event, people were like, oh, I'm so glad to have your book. Do you know where I could find other books with Black characters? And I really hate, it's like a thing. If you would, like, I'm smiling like 90% of the time, but usually that other percentage is when like I have to have a discussion more than once. I'm like one of those people, like I don't like to use my energy on having discussions more than once. Like, let's have a discussion and then create some action steps and then take action. I don't like talking a lot. So I kept getting this question of like how to find other books with Black characters. And I was like, girl, if you got an attitude when people ask you that question, that's because you should have had a solution by now. Like people shouldn't be having to keep asking you this. I check myself all the time. Like I'm trying to be my best self, and that means holding yourself accountable. And I'll be like, don't be getting upset with them. They don't even know you. They didn't know you before today. They don't know that 1,000 people asked you that question. So I was like, we got to figure this out. So then I launched this platform called Black Baby Books that makes it easier to discover children's books with Black characters. And at first it was just like, oh, let me start this Instagram. And the funny thing is, it's not like I'm an influencer. Like I'm very to myself unless the purpose calls me to come out of myself. So like if I'm called to do something, I'm gonna do it. Like I'm very obedient in that way. Like, oh, something's in my heart, something's in my spirit. It's for me to do. Oh, I'm gonna do it. So I've never been very like public facing on social media like that. So I started this like Black Baby Books, and it was just like sharing authors I had seen, or like just whenever I came across children's books, sharing them, because I don't have children. So it's not like I'm like around kids all the time, or like always, well, I'm always buying children's books now, but just because I love children's books. But I didn't have a reason to really be doing that other than this issue of people keep asking me this question. So, and then I love learning how to code. So I designed this like website to make it like a place where you can aggregate these books. So I say all that to say, so after a while, like people started following it, and I kept getting these messages like, oh my goodness, from parents, librarians, teachers, like, I'm finding so many good books. Like, thank you so much for starting this platform, blah, blah, blah. So the funny thing about me, and my friends make fun of me all the time. They're like, Veronica, you be out here launching stuff and then it takes off. You're like, oh shoot, like I need a plan. You're like, oh shoot. And they're like, girl, like you just be out here. Okay. So Black Baby Books, people are like, oh, I'm finding this so useful. And there's so much room for it to grow. But at a certain point, it started getting a lot of followers. And I was like, followers are cute. But what can we do with these followers? Like, how can we push? How can we like improve this impact? Like, how can we just make sure that, having followers, it should not be. And again, I'm not an influencer, so I'm not like, they're here to see me. They weren't here to see me. They were looking for these books. So I was like, right, they were looking for these books. So I was like, oh, I have, these authors in my network because of this platform and all this stuff like that. And basically, I just, from being on social media, there's so much, the world is hard. Let's just start there. The world is hard. And at that point, there was like, and still is, a lot of collective mourning around a lot of different things. Like there's so many things to mourn if you really care about humanity. So in this particular case, it was right after George Floyd was murdered. And we were all just sad. And the thing is, I was already sad though, because I was still very sad about Trayvon Martin. Like every single name I knew and didn't know, I was just really sad about it. And I was like, man, social media can't just be like a never-ending memorial service. Like we gotta have some joy on here. So I was like, okay, well, what can we do? And I was like, I started seeing all these things pop up, like pecan pie day or whatever, like, you know, chocolate treats week or whatever. I was like, wait a minute, there gotta be a Black Children's Book Week, right? Like it has to exist. And I'm telling the story exactly how I always tell it, because this is exactly what happened. So I went to Google and I said, Google, give me Black Children's Book Week. Who did it? Let me show it. Let me see it. And Google was like, sis, nothing. We got nothing for you. There are no results. And I was like, Google, you tripping. You didn't crawl the internet like you were supposed to crawl the internet. Like you didn't do your job. Like all that money y'all making, this is crazy. So I Googled again. And it was like we said, it does not exist. And I was like, here we go again. Something else I'm gonna have to launch without a full plan. Because the thing was, that was September, and I was like, oh shoot, you know, it's already September. And honestly, at that time, I had like 4 family members in the hospital. I was playing hospital roulette. Like I was going from hospital to hospital to like it was just like unimaginable what was going on in my real life. So then I was like, okay, you have me do this now? Like I gotta launch this now? And it was like, yeah, right now. So because I was like, when can I launch it? And then I was thinking, the reason why it starts on the last Sunday in February is not really that serious. Yes, February is Black History Month, but I was joking because I was tired of people always say February is the shortest month of the year. That's what they put Black History. I said, okay, well, let's go ahead and extend it then, because I'm sick of hearing y'all talking again. This thing, like I'm sick of hearing to have this conversation over and over again. So we're gonna go ahead and extend Black History Month to celebrate Black children and the power of their representation in children's books. And there were a couple of people I reached out to, like Charnay Gordon from Here We Read, Kiana Saxon from Kidogo, and another author, Sierra. I know her last name. I'm just blinking because I've been up designing this website. This Black Children's Book Museum. I don't know why I can't remember her name right now, but she's fabulous, Sierra. And I can't remember her last name. But anyway, I reached out to a lot of people and I said, hey, this is what I'm doing. And they were like, word? That's what you're doing? I was like, yeah. And so they were like, oh, we're going to help you push this out. And that's what happened. And the great thing about y'all and the people who care about Black children is, like, I hosted this online meeting, and there were like hundreds of people there. And I was like, hey, so here's my day. I did a little presentation. It's on YouTube. People can look it up. Like, here's the idea. Here's where I'm launching it. You know, here's what you can do. Like, here are ways to celebrate. Like, it is about the mission. It's not going to be one person. It's going to be do what you can with what you have. It's going to be give an extra smile to a Black child in the, in the library, in the grocery store, do a Black Children's Book Week. If you want to host an event. If you want to do an IG live, check out a book from a Black, check out a Black book from a library, support Black bookstores. I just created like a list of things that you can do during this week with the goal of just like making sure that our children feel affirmed and loved, because really, we know what it is. We know that children are being born into this like world that centers whiteness, and it's a very violent thing. And the thing about like this, I call it the doom quest for white supremacy. Like it's never gonna happen. It's just not. That's just not a real reality. Like white supremacy is just not. It's not possible. So I'm like, but they still gonna try. And our kids are like kind of caught up in this thing. And I was like, so what does that mean? That means that you can have locks and they can keep you from, going to school because you have locks. That's insane.
Right.
That don't make any sense.
Right.
It means that it means that somebody can murder you in the street and get off. It means a lot of things that it should not mean, and it's not their fault. It's not their problem that these people can't get their lives together. They can't get, the envy is real. Like, what are we supposed to do about this? But I said, let's talk about what we can do, because we can't change anybody who's committed to white supremacy. It is like, you either want to be great or you don't. We can't change. We can't make anybody be great, right? So if they want to be on a failed quest, they're going to be on a failed quest. If they ever get off, they can come back, and act right. But until then, we have to have what I call scheduled joy, this opportunity to honor our children, the humanity in our children, because there's been so much done that totally ignores humanity in our children. And that's just real. And then the other thing is, there's evidence that proves that when our children see themselves positively reflected, it really does help improve their self-esteem. And that improved self-esteem helps protect them from the impact of racism. And there's a whole, on the website for Black Children's Book Week is a link to this data. But the other thing about it is that we want our kids, when they encounter racism or any kind of I call inhumanity, right? We want them to recognize that outside person who's bringing them that drama, they have the problem. We don't want them internalize any anti-Blackness. We don't want them internalizing anything that is not authentic to them. So that is the power of, listen, I want them to see these people be like, oh, you need to get your life right. You might hate me, but that's your problem. That's how I want. Yeah. So I feel like Black kids and all of us and anybody who wants to be down with supporting Black children, we need some scheduled joy that we can do collectively and collaborate. There have been groups built out of Black Children's Book Week and the DMV, and y'all are doing big things in Oklahoma. There's a lot of things that have come from it that are just a result of me being like, hey, I want to do this, and y'all being like, that's what's up, I'm down. And that really is what Black Children's Book Week is.
Hey, no. What year did this start?
It's only this is the third year. It started in February 2022. And the weird thing about it is isn't me or the last 5 years, did they just go like this or
They did for me.
They did for me too. And I was like, this is wild. But yeah, so this is just the third year. So the thing about it, the people celebrating now, they're in at the beginning. We are collectively building this thing. And, people, so here's the thing about my mindset. People are always because remember I told you I launch stuff, but don't always have a plan. And so people are always like, well, you need some corporate this, you need blah, blah, blah. And I'm trying to I'm a Libra. We got to find balance, right?
Oh,
that makes so much sense. Okay. Okay.
But when you get corporations involved, they got their own agenda. We got to figure out what our collective agenda is and honor that, and go from there. So I think just because I try to give myself grace, because honestly, you want to be for example, the last 2 years, because of sponsors and donors, we've been able to invest $6,000 into Black indie children's book authors, illustrators. Thank you. And that's because people have supported this week. But these are people, 90% of them are Black people, right? Who are building this thing. So this is not, we're building this. So, and then because again, as sponsors, we're going to be able to do, invest 2,000 more this year. The application's coming out soon. People keep emailing me, but I was like, listen, we got to collect it first, and then I know how much I can give you. I gotta be able to promise and deliver. I can't. So now I'm clear.
You have a plan. They just have to wait.
Right.
And be patient.
But as it grows, people are like, okay, so what's the next step? And then somebody was like, oh, you should get all these corporations. And I was like, listen, we gotta see. Because the way the world is whirling right now, corporations be trying to buy things that I'm not ready to sell them. My soul is not for sale. But my soul is not for sale, and it has to, we have to make sure we're aligned with people who are really committed to the mission. Some people are committed temporarily when it makes sense, so they want to make themselves feel better or whatever. It's like, dude, we got to figure out who these people are before we try to do with anything.
And
but
you
anyway,
want someone genuine
yeah,
that's gonna be there for the long haul, not just for a little bit. So
yeah.
it's only been 3 years. It seemed like a lifetime because those years went by fast.
They went by fast, and honestly, I have so much fun. Like, the funny thing about Black Children's Book Week to me, people are like, oh, Veronica, like, someone said something to be like, did you know so and so this was going on? I'm like, in whatever town in other countries, and I'm like, girl, I'll be finding out when y'all find out. Like, I be on Instagram like, oh my gosh, look, they're doing something. And I think, thus far there have been like celebrations all throughout the U.S. Canada was the first country on the map this year. I just want that to be known. Now, they've always been part of it, the like authors from Canada, but they were first on the map this year. I would just like to shout out Canada right now. So Canada, the place where I know there have been some sort of celebrations, Canada, Nigeria, Ghana, the UK, throughout the US, and that's been growing. I could tell from just like social media, like more states, more libraries are participating. Somebody from a little girl from Jamaica won the pitch competition, part of the pitch competition. So Jamaica was in the house last year.
Okay.
I got a message that they'll be having an event in Vienna, Austria.
What?
Wow.
Yes. No, this is what I'm saying. Listen, this is all of us because like everyone is like, oh shoot, everybody's so excited, and it's so much fun. It's just like so much fun. And honestly, like I've been telling people, I am very attuned to the world, so I have been very sad for the last for the last months. I've been like really, really sad because I'm like, you see how we just met, but we're like family. I'm like that with everybody if your energy's right. Now, let's be clear. If I'm quiet, that means I'm assessing. Like, that's just who I am. But so when things happen in the world, I'm always like, oh, this is happening to my friends. Like, I personalize everything. I'm like, this is happening to my friends. Like, I'm not a them over there kind of person. So, and then an author from Mata Jallo, we were talking about this, and I was like, girl, but I'm so sad, and it feels so weird, like leading such a joyful thing and having so much fun in the midst of like sadness. And she was like, girl, because we need the balance. We got to have the good and the bad. Yeah. Right. So,
but you got to protect your peace, though.
Yeah.
You got to protect it, Veronica, because the world will make you very sad and trying and cussing and all this other stuff. So you got to.
We do, but the one thing, the way I've been, okay, this is a random story, but I tend to be more logical. I'm not saying I don't have emotions, but I lean more with logic. So there are two things that I realized about me and about like sadness and stuff. So one is I used to watch a lot of This Is Us, the TV show. Have y'all ever watched the show? Okay.
No.
Well, that show used to have me thug cry. I was like little thug tear coming down. I'm like, oh shoot, I really am tapped into my emotions. So I guess so right now, like, yes, I'm very good with boundaries, whether it's in relation. I've always been really good with boundaries, but I found myself in the last few months being like, I'm glad I'm feeling things because I don't want to be desensitized. Because it's like, I don't know. Because I think about like the key to Black Children's Book Week is that it's an activating force. So we could be over here crying while we still need to do something about book bans. We could be over here like the sky is falling, the sky is falling. No, we're all saying we're going to celebrate our kids and our books. And y'all do what y'all doing over there. We going to come for y'all. But in the meantime, we going to do what we can do because we don't have time to just be responding to y'all. You know what I mean? So that's the other thing. It's like, you don't want to pretend like nothing's going wrong because like there's a lot going wrong, but you have to still feel empowered to act. And I think that is one of another positive thing about Black Children's Book Week is that it encourages and inspires people to take action. And I think that's super cool because like in the first year, I received so many messages like, girl, I was, just giving a little, taking it back before. But now with Black Children's Book Week coming, I was like, I got to keep pushing. I got to get this book club launch. I got to do, like, I received so many messages like that. So to anybody watching, I would just say, for me, I do this workshop called Action Over Everything. And I just think at the end of the day, it's really important. Like, if there is a vision on your mind, something in your heart, you have to take action, because especially if the kind of person who, like, you're not always centering yourself. You're like, okay, I want to do this thing for the world with whatever. You just never know the impact. Like, there's no way you can anticipate what will happen. Right. And so that's why it's just really important. And, I take action on a lot of ideas, and a lot of them fail. A lot of them are like, let me close that up, whatever. No, like, I'm not giving more energy to that. Like, I do that a lot. But then there's things like this and a couple of other things that I've done that I've just really had a great impact. And the impact is not even that I accomplished whatever. The impact is like what inspires other people to do, which to me is so, like, one of my favorite things.
Okay. I love that. Grace, do you have any questions for Veronica? We don't want you to be quiet over there with your fancy
I'm
glasses
just
on.
listening.
Wait, no, Grace has facial responses. Grace has been responding. I've been reading her face. Like I said, I read people.
You
When you
give her
said
the
the
props.
browser, yeah. Oh, yeah, I understand that.
Grace trying to be quiet over there, but like, Grace, you're not gonna talk. I don't have anything to say. I'm just listening.
I'm listening. I'm listening. You know, just I'm here.
Okay. But I think it's wonderful for your initiative and the drive and the passion that you have for this to be successful. Because I remember I can't remember what the video was, but you said, "Hey, I need for you, yeah, I need for you to bring this to your city or your state because we need your help." And I was like, you know what? She talking to me. She And I said, "Yep, I'm gonna do it." I said, "I will
I
do
love
it
that.
extra." So, and I
I
just
love
had
that.
to um, get in that mode of doing a variety of things. For one, I come from my mom's an educator, so she's been teaching for 48 years, 49 years. She probably listening because she tunes in every now and then.
Hey,
But
mom.
hey, mom. but she talks about how the children have changed throughout the years of generation after generation, and they're not the same anymore. They don't even want to read. They don't even want to pick up a book. Everything is so digitized now. If it's not on a device or some kind of game, it's like you lose the kids' interest. And so when I hear my mom share stories about the children struggling, she teaches third grade, so that's a critical grade level right there. Like at that point, you should be able to read and be able to tell what you have read and all of that, right? And so when she shares with me that, I have a third grader that can't even write their name, like they don't even have what they should have being in
Mm-hmm.
the third grade. And so and I always tell my mom, I said, well, Mom, just hang in there. Because she always said, I'm going to retire. I said, no, 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 not yet. Because I'm trying to give her to 80. I'm not telling her age,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm going to give her to
Mm-hmm.
80. I said, just hold on. I said, it's going to get better. And as she goes on, she's always been determined and vivacious, of course. And so at the end, towards, in what is this, February, in a few weeks, they're going to start doing the testing, where they do all
Mm-hmm.
that school testing and all that. And so afterwards, she feels so relieved and not, I don't even want to say humble, but proud
Mm-hmm.
that the scores have improved. The children are wanting to read, and I just feel like we as a people, we have to be able to support each other because we put so much on these teachers, and we feel like, well, the teachers are the one that needs to teach them how to do this, but it starts, you're the teacher. The parents are the teachers first. You're teaching them how to say their name, ABCs. You may be teaching them how to cuss, all this other stuff. But you're teaching them, right? So
Mm-hmm.
you're the first teacher. And I
Mhm.
feel like parents have kind of forgotten that. Like,
Mhm.
Yeah, it's so many things. So let me go with the reading part first. So, no, let me get with this part. You know what it is? Honestly, I thought, I just sit and I think about things, and there's so many things that shouldn't be.
mhm,
So parents are parenting in a time where it's like we shouldn't live in a country where you can get shot in school. We shouldn't live in a country where you can't afford groceries or milk or diapers, that you're like getting 8,000 jobs just so your kid could get like basic stuff. We should not live in this environment. And I just think it's going to be hard for people to really like figure out how to adapt in a society that's failing. And if I'm being honest, I mean, you know, I think it's really hard. I mean, it's really challenging because it's just like I think about my friends who have kids and they have means, right? So their kids are in all these activities, they have access to all these resources, but they're a minority. You know what I mean? Like, and it just the things that are structural, like, you know, Black women, how are we the most educated and get paid the least? That don't even make sense. We're the most educated and get paid the least. So I guess what I'm saying, that's another reason for Black Children's Book Week, like just wanted to be intentional about showing Black children love and this power representation, because their parents are tired, a lot of them, because this country, this world is exhausting, you know, so it's exhausting. So, you know, so that's why it has to be a collaborative effort. And to the reading part, because I'm an author, and I shout out to Behind the Book, this really great organization that's like placed me in a lot of New York City schools to do readings. But it's so funny, you know, I know one thing is like, I know my energy is like, I have good energy, and it's, I think kids respond to that. But when kids see Black authors, before I even say anything, before they even can read my energy, they're like, they look at the back cover and they match to make sure that I'm the person on that cover. When they see that, they're like, you came here to meet us. You wrote this book for us. Then they all in this book. Then everybody who don't know how to read want to read. You know what I mean? So that is the power.
Yeah.
That is the power of Black authors. I have this like t-shirt that I designed that says author, superhero, same thing. Because especially when it comes to Black authors in general, like we've all read books that like, ooh, did I just read that? Like I went through all these emotions through reading. But when children see Black children see Black authors, it's a whole nother level of superpowerness that is just like, because I've had so many experiences that like, you know, I go into school and the teacher's like warns me before I start, like, just so you know, my class is a little rowdy. I was like, oh, word. They were like, yeah. So after I'm done, they're like, and the kids were all attentive. They had all this fun and they were all proactive and try to be helpful. The teacher come up and be like, I've never seen my kids like that. I was like, it's a superpower. Boop.
It's like, there you go. You missed it.
Right. So yeah.
So with the week that's coming up, coming Sunday.
Sunday, girl.
How did you? I know you said you wanted to end it out throughout this, you know, extend February just a little bit more.
Even that was a joke, but yeah. I was like, we had this conversation one more time.
Right, it was a good joke because
I know, like, people in the UK were like, well, that's not our Black History Month. I was like, girl, don't even worry about it. It goes into March. It doesn't have to be tied to anybody's Black History Month. It's just, I just did it because I was tired of same thing we talked about earlier. I'm not gonna have this conversation more than once. Right. Don't talk to me about it again ever.
But I think it fits perfect because it also goes into well, I don't know if you I'm about to mess up the name. I just said it earlier when I was Grace, what's the thing for Saturday? National Read Day. Wait, Read Across
America.
Okay, yeah. So Read Across America, and then Dr. Seuss and all them other things, and then the National Read Week. I think it just, to me, I feel like it starts the momentum to get you going to where you found some books that have likeness of yourself, and then now you just need to continue to read.
Can I tell you the truth?
Uh-oh.
I ain't know nothing about none of those other weeks. I don't have no kids. I'm not a teacher. I just be creating stuff. I didn't know nothing about those other weeks. I heard about them after the fact. So keep on reading. No problem.
You're making history going into Women's History Month. Like, come on with it. Let's go.
I'm like, this is the perfect time.
It's a great month to go into.
I
here. Let's be clear. I just be out here. I'm not very
Yeah.
calculated at all.
Oh Lord.
It's okay.
That's that Libra. That's that Libra.
It is.
It is. My sister is one, so trust me, I understand.
I'm
Oh
married to
shoot.
one.
Oh Lord, really?
Mhm.
Oh wow.
See, you in good hands. Okay, there you go. So with the website, you said they can go there and they can find other books wherever. Is that what?
So this is how it works. This is how it's structured.
Okay.
Okay. So there is a period of time in which you can register any events you're hosting. So because there's a checklist on our website. So everyone's not hosting events. Some people are having, Zoom reading parties with their family, like a pre-reunion
Oh,
turn
that's
up.
cute.
Some
Okay.
people are reaching out to their local libraries and having, read aloud. Some libraries are, creating a shelf of Black books, or, this one library, there's like an incentive, like they partner with like what's the name of the, I'm not gonna mess it up. It's in California, I think. And they partner with a local like pizza shop, an Italian restaurant, and they can come read books and they get like a coupon or something to like a discount off, I don't know, pizza or something. Kids love pizza. I still love pizza. So like people are finding different ways to celebrate.
I like that.
And for people who are having events, whether they be virtual or in person, there's this place on the website where you can register your event, and as long as it's approved, because it doesn't publish right away, because we have to make sure that it's actually something for Black Children's Book Week, because sometimes got a little racism in the mix, and I've had to delete. I was gonna post about it, and I might, and I may not.
Actually submit something through the website,
So,
and it's
That's intentional.
but this is what I'm saying. This is what nothing. But see, here's the thing about living in such a society is you have to anticipate that anyway. So it never has been that you can register an event and it published automatically. It always has to be approved on the back end. All right, you got to know where you are. You know what I mean? You got to know where you are. Do what you can. Keep it moving. So yeah. So as long as it's aligned with the mission, and the thing is, our some people will be like, "Oh, I'm hosting an event on February 15th," but the collaborative calendar is structured that it shows events on the Saturday before the official start. So like if it starts on Sunday, it shows Saturday, because some people can do it the first Saturday, the event the first Saturday, but not the Saturday doing, right? So it shows Saturday to next Sunday. So it's structured that's all it shows. So people are like, "Oh, but I'm having an event on the 15th." Even if you register it, even if you approve it, nobody's going to see it, because it's really just structured for what it's structured for. And then with our newsletter during the week, even leading up to the week, we say, "Hey, here's how you prepare. Like, get your calendars ready now. Like, check out the events that are on our website. Some are virtual. Here's the checklist. If you're doing something with your family and your community, just go check out a book." It's really accessible. We don't want people, everyone doesn't have the resources to host an event or whatever. And we don't want everyone to feel like they have to. Events are awesome, but we want it to be something that's accessible, right? We don't need no elites. So we need not have any kind of barriers to participation. So go to the library, check out a book, free 99. Call your, I don't know, like take your homegirl's kid. She need a break. Take them to the library. There it is. Black Children's Book Week. So yeah, you can register it. Then there's a collaborative calendar that is accessible, and every day during the week we say, "Here's what's happening today." You get if you're on the email list, you get that email.
Nice.
And yeah, so that's.
So can they still send things in today? Today's the last day, right?
Today is the last day. It would make my life the easiest if today is the last day. But
Eastern time.
it's Eastern. But here's the thing, because I know I'm on Eastern time, I really leave it up until the 21st when I wake up.
Oh, okay.
Okay. 'Cause we have to
I
update.
did.
We
We
have
have to
to
get on the computer after this.
Right.
Lucky for y'all. So, the sound is back, but y'all good?
Oh, yeah, we're good. I can still hear you. I can hear. We just got that. That.
Can you hear me?
It's like the. Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, that's so strange, but I can't hear you.
You can't hear it. You
Hmm.
can't hear it. Uh-oh, come on,
Well,
technology. Looks like that.
one second.
It's always something, I promise you. Can you hear it?
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Oh, but I can't hear you. How is that?
What? How did you?
Well, I know. Technology be
That's
technologying. Yeah, we're gonna say that. I don't care if it
right.
doesn't really make sense.
I'm starting to think there's somebody
And I love
behind
that
this
even though I can't hear
technology.
you, I totally understand. We're on the same
Look, I got you.
All right, let me see if I can
Oh,
figure it out. But anyway,
oh
y'all
my
carry
goodness.
on. I'll figure out my life.
She said I figured out my life. So I do want to say you have the museum that's happening, and the museum that's on Saturday, right? The
Now I
whole I
can hear
think
you.
the now you can
Can you
hear
hear
it?
me? Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay,
I
I
can
can
hear
hear you
you.
now. I couldn't hear you before.
Oh,
All right, so that's what I was saying. Okay, so yeah, the museum is on Saturday. I think it's at 2 o'clock.
Saturday.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so that is where we feature our sponsors. And we have like a museum opening where we meet up right quick. And I'm going to do a video on how. So the museum's in the metaverse because we're fancy. And it's this really cool dynamic space where you can go and you can look at, you can have your avatar walk inside the museum. You can dress your avatar however you want.
Yeah.
And you can go in. I have a little playlist I put together. I was like, they're gonna be like, what is up with this Jill Scott playing in the museum? But it's in there. Because we want y'all to stay and shop these sponsors. So there's like these clickable images. You have the book covers or whatever art, images that the sponsor submitted, and you can click and to learn more, see it up close. And then there's a link you can click through to whatever shop link they submitted, and it opens in a new tab. So you stay inside the museum, but when you're done, you look at all these tabs you open and you buy a book in each tab that you open. That's how that works.
Oh, now
It's
that
so much
sounds
fun.
fancy. Did you design that yourself?
I did, but see, it's on this platform. So here's the thing about me. So when it started, I was like, okay, like it started with zero budget. Like it still has zero budget. It only has a budget when the folks provide a budget. Like I said, I'm still planning and figuring out. Just because corporations have money doesn't mean you want their money. It depends. You gotta like. I'm not gonna just date anybody in my real life, and I'm not gonna just date anybody with something as serious as what we're doing. You know,
Right.
so everybody can't come. You gotta figure out like what you stand for real. You can't temporarily stand for this, and then when stuff hits the fan, like I'm about to write this thing, which sounds kind of sad, but it's like the premise is, am I safe with you? We have to identify the people who we're safe with.
Hmm.
And we could go into that forever, but it would be off topic. But I mean, and I think that applies to everyone and everybody because, the world is getting wilder, but we need to know who the people are who are like very much aligned with humanity and aligned with, some goodness in this world. so, um, so that's why, it's still trying to figure out like exactly how like it's always going to be, but we're collectively funding this right now. I have not yet figured out who else can come to the party. So so when I first launched in the fall into 2022, I still didn't know. I was like, I know I want to do the pitch competition, but I don't have the money to be giving away money, because basically when I've had ideas before, I've won pitch competitions, I won money to invest in ideas that I've had. So like I said, that I've launched things before, some of them went on to do great things and some of them were like, nope.
Right.
Nope, but that's fine. It's a muscle you exercise, no biggie. So so anyway, the first year I was like, oh, I want to do like, definitely what people wanted to sponsor, because people are like, how could we sponsor? People were asking me, how can we give you money? Like, and I was like, oh, yeah, we do need money, because I had to register. I had to get a lawyer. I had to register like the trademark and all this stuff
Yes,
like
I
this
noticed that.
to like protect it. Like, because, like I know I can trust it with us, but like if we just leave it out there, then who
Somebody will take
knows?
it.
Because the
Mhm.
history said, learn from the history. We don't need to. We all know what it is. Again, you got to know your surroundings.
Right.
So anyway, that was costly, and we did that. So I was like, how are we gonna raise this money? And at first, you know how you like support like a local thing, and they'd be like, oh, we'll sell a half page ad, or we could sell like a full page ad. I was like, I'm not about to like create a newsletter and just like share it out. I was like, that's so easy and not cool enough. It doesn't honor our efforts in the way that I think it should. So I was like, I'm going to design a museum. Like, while launching
Mhm.
Black Children's Book Week, of course, I would do
Right.
both at once, launch a museum and Black Children's Book Week. But the funny thing is, the initial platform that I built it on, they went out of business. So last year, I was like,
Oh yeah.
yeah,
Mm.
I don't
So,
really know.
because you had one last year.
But that wasn't a new platform. I had to totally rebuild after the
So,
first year.
For 2022.
So
That
2020,
one, yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
yeah, that platform went out of
Yeah.
business. And they were like,
Yeah.
I was like, well, can I buy it for $1? You know what I'm saying? Y'all don't want it. Like,
right.
let me get it for $1. Then how much for one bread? You know? But they were trying to do that. So the last year it was like chaotic because I was trying to find a space because I was like, I'm not about to have these people sponsor, I have nowhere to put them. And it turns out that I discovered this space that's in the metaverse. You
Okay.
know, you're out here walking around, your alternate self is walking around. And it's actually an easier platform for me to manage. Before I had to like design everything in Canva, then upload, then hyperlink it. It was a whole deal. This time it's like already built to be a museum and I just have to change the exhibits. So they
Oh,
better not go out
cool.
of business because then if they go out of business, then I'm gonna have to really raise money because then I'm gonna have to build our own platform. But well, at some point, build our own museum online and in like a building. But the
Right.
advantage of being online is that people can access it. Now, when we do develop this Black Children's Book Museum, like a real brick and mortar one, where are we gonna put it? We gotta figure this out. But we don't have to
Okay.
figure it out right now. But let's just
No,
think
don't
about
figure it out right now. Yeah.
let's think about it. Let's think about it going forward.
Yes. Yes, definitely think about it. So with the museum, even though it opens Saturday, are they able to access it after Saturday? Like,
Oh, so that's the thing. So right now, if someone goes to the sponsorship page, you can see the exhibits from last year. So they're in it for the all year, and we drop. Excuse me.
oh,
We sorry. We drive like in our newsletter. We say like, hey, have you visited a museum? Or we'll run like Facebook ads to the museum just so people can experience the space. So the sponsors who sponsor, they're in the museum from the launch until the following year.
oh, okay.
Hmm.
So that means that your sponsors are always changing and you're looking for more people to join the museum.
Yes, except for no. Listen, shout out to like I don't want to miss anybody, so I'm not gonna go with names because. But there are some people I would say that they must have put Black Children's Book Week in their budget because they've been in the museum every year,
Oh, well, that's
and it's
good.
his third year. But like that's very, or at least 2 years, even that. So, and I don't want to miss anybody because there's a couple. I'm like, oh, I saw this last year and the year before last, you know. But basically, another thing with the money we raised is like I took a class on um, Facebook marketing, and
Hmm.
a lot of the people who are learning about it are because I run ads to it because people are still, it's still new. It's the only 3 years. So people get excited, like so they'll have see ads that will like save the date. It's like I didn't even know this was a thing, and then next thing you know, like
Hmm.
our mailing list keeps growing because people want to be down with something fun, you know.
Right, right.
So that is another way that I've found new sponsors and just new people who are brought into the fun and the fold of this joy we share for a week.
Oh, yes, the scheduled, how'd you call it? Scheduled
Schedule joy.
celebration.
Schedule
Scheduled
joy.
joy. Yes,
Hmm.
yes. I like that because we're gonna have it this time every time.
Yep.
So you can't miss out on it. It's like forgetting somebody's birthday. You can't forget it because it's
Right. Because the thing is, since it's a week and not a day, right? So you be like Sunday, you might find out on Sunday, but by the time Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday come around, you'll find a way to celebrate because why? The checklist is what accessible.
Accessible. That's true. That's the key word. And I love how she keeps saying make things accessible. I love that. So have you kept a list of all the cities or areas where you have people celebrating? Like, are you covered in all 50 states?
So that is a good thing to find. So here's the challenge, and this is one thing that as soon as I'm done, like I have to put the final finishing touches on the museum today.
Okay.
But there's two things that I want to add to this year. One is I'm trying to find a platform that we can share images, so we can create a whole collage that we
Mm.
can all submit. And it could be a screenshot from your live. It could be an image from your in-person event. It could be somebody last year, a church in Harlem. They had a book drive in their church and they donated books to the local school. And they like emailed us like, here are pictures from this event we have. So they weren't on the calendar, but they emailed us. So I tell people to follow the hashtag Black Children's Book Week because that's where I find out everything that's going
Everything.
on. Like
Yes.
if they don't submit it, like every day I'm finding new stuff, and I'm like, oh, I didn't even know this was happening. So I want to do. I know there's another week. I forgot the name of this particular week, but I saw that they did this thing where they surveyed people afterwards. So between having a place where people can submit photos from the celebration, so we can have like a 2024 collage that we can share. I'm gonna see if I can just post and share on our newsletter to get people to like send in what they've done. Because the other thing is some events are private, right? So the ones that are on the calendar, they're public events, except for one person I know registered. We're like, this is private, don't come, but we want you to know we're doing it. There's like one of those events on the calendar. But there's some things happen in schools that we don't know about, or people are homeschooling.
Mhm.
So, and because the list is so accessible, like did you get? We could poll like Black bookstores. Did more people shop during this week? Could you
They
tell us?
need to. Yes.
Right, right.
And to be honest, I received some donations from a member. Let me go ahead and give him a shout out. A member of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, and she bought
Okay.
Black books from Target. So, Target
Really?
already always have a collection
Yes,
of Black books, so
yes.
she bought some of those. So yeah,
Shout
yeah,
out to
there's
her.
yes, shout out, Kiki.
That's another thing
Black
I'm seeing.
books.
I'm seeing more and more. I would like to say I'm not in any sorority. I don't. So I don't want y'all to think I have favorites or nothing. The Zetas were the first. They were the first sorority to be like, listen, we all in. The Zetas were the first on the celebration map, and this year I'm seeing more Deltas. And
Good.
I think last year I saw some AKAs, but if anyone's a sorority, it's not too
Don't
late.
have me. Don't have me. Don't have me.
Turn me up, turn me up,
It's not too late to
Grace.
get in there, but I definitely saw the Deltas on the celebration map. They got a couple of events on there.
Well, let me just go ahead and let you know that you have all four sororities then, because I'm Sigma Gamma Rho. Boom.
Okay,
So you
all
good.
right. All right, we got them all there. We got them
Yeah, you
all.
got them all. There you
All
go.
right. I love that.
Like, well, Veronica, it has been such a pleasure to speak with you and to get to know the history of National Black Children's Book Week.
No,
I
no, no
enjoy.
national. No
I,
national.
I just like to say national. You know
I
why?
know.
You
Why?
know why? Because they have a website that says National something celebration days or something like that. Like if
Oh,
you're
yeah.
trying to figure out what day is what, and I need Black Children's Book Week to be on the national list.
Well,
So
here's the
that
thing.
way
That's just the.
everybody can know when the wiki
We
is.
just did
Okay,
a
I'm sorry.
proclamation. We just need to send a
Well, here's
proclamation.
the thing. See,
Oh,
it's so funny y'all said that because this is something I've been in the back of my mind thinking about. So I have been on that website, and I noticed it's just another company.
yes, it is.
So I was like, why should I give them my money to register something that already is?
Well,
And
you gotta
then
pay for that.
it ain't free. What's free in America? Come on.
The last part was free. That part.
Let me let me hush. I'm gonna be
and
quiet.
and at the end of the day, like we already here. We already here, and
That
we
is
gonna
true.
keep going. And then from the proclamation, I was thinking about that too. Have we not already proclaimed?
I'm surprised. I
I mean, have we not already ordained and proclaimed
we just
ourselves? I don't know.
we just need that piece of paper and
We're
that
just looking
stamp.
for analogy. Yeah.
Yes.
No, but see, here's the thing, and this is
And
the
then that way we
challenge.
can say that this particular individual supports this. I
Here's
mean,
the challenge.
that's how I look at that.
Now I gotta. I'm working through this because I've always been a self-validator. so
Okay.
I'm trying to balance. Like my friends always laugh. They make fun of me, and this is they tell me I'm like a construct because they're like, you don't be acting like other humans. You be out here like whatever. So like I was
Whatever.
saying, they always make fun of me. They're like, you just an avatar. Like, they just call me all kinds of things. They love me though, but they be getting to me because I just be down here. Like, listen, if I gotta be down here, I'm gonna validate myself. I'm gonna affirm our babies, and that's it. Like,
That's it.
I think we validated ourselves already,
I
and I
think
mean
we
all of
did.
us.
All of us, yes.
I mean
Yes.
all of us. I don't mean that
Now,
singularly.
are you originally from New Jersey?
I am originally from New Jersey. Yes.
Okay. I've been to New York. I haven't. I don't think I've made it over there, but I've.
You didn't hop across the one of those bridges or tunnels.
Well, I did get on the subway
Did you fly
until.
into Newark?
Girl, I don't even remember. It's been so long
Don't
ago.
tell me you flew into JFK or LaGuardia. That's just out of the way, even for New York City.
I don't even listen. It's
We're
been so
from the
many years ago.
South.
I don't even know. Right. We just listen. I hopped on that subway, and because they said just hop on the C train, and I didn't see the C, so we just got on it until it stopped, and then it backed up. So I didn't know where I was. So
Mhm. That's all
oh
good. Did
yeah,
you enjoy it?
I did. I did. I
No,
just want to say you guys walk a little bit fast, like you're in a hurry and like it's a fire or something going
I
on.
know.
Because I was like, why are we walking
Well,
so fast?
I went to college in Georgia, and you know, things are. You know what? Listen, I just need to come visit y'all. Show us how it's really done. Because you know what? Sometimes you want to walk a little slower, but yeah, when you go to New York City, you got to
Yeah,
drive faster because everybody be honking at you. Because like
literally.
so so for the so for the readings that I do, that I've been doing in the city, like I said, the organization behind the book, they're always like, well, we'll send a, Uber, we'll send a car, and I'm like, no, I'll just drive, and I always drive because I'm the kind of person I like to wake up with my playlists. I like to set the tone within myself. Like get it right, have the right music, and I just can trust my energy. Now, if somebody drives me, then I got to see if the energy's right, and I got to be ready for the kids. So I like to center myself and get
Mhm.
ready. But I say all that to say that when you drive in New York, though, you better be ready because like they will. They're like
Right,
if you're like at the light like a millisecond, they're like beep beep.
right. Like, the
Look at
light
Grace.
just changed.
Grace is like not. So I will come over there as I've never been to Oklahoma
Oh,
ever.
well, you gotta come one day.
I
I
will
really do.
I would love to come one day. Um so yeah, I'm gonna come hang out with y'all. And I
Okay,
mean that. Like
okay.
that's the other thing. I don't just say stuff. Now I don't know if it'll be this year, but it's gonna be.
That's fair. That's fair to say. So before we get off of here, can you tell everybody where they can find you and where they can follow you?
So right now just focus on Black Children's Book Week at Black Children's Book Week, and their links. If you want to follow me, that's at the top of the profile for Black Children's Book Week. But Black Children's Book Week, tell a friend to tell a friend, send it to the little snotty little kid who gets on your nerves, send it to his mama. You know what I mean? Like maybe a book can help him. He's not gonna be snotty nosed kid if he just gets the right book in front of him. So like send it to
True.
anybody you think should be part of the celebration. Invite everyone in.
Okay. Well, and with that being said, Black Children's Books Oklahoma, we are ready to kick off on Sunday. Yes.
Hey.
Listen, I'm just gonna tell you this. I think Grace and I are gonna probably need a 48-hour nap afterwards, cause baby,
Oh yeah.
she
Oh yeah.
she
Listen,
ain't got kids.
when I saw your list, I was like, man, can I just the places I wish I could teleport to during the week? I'm like, okay, if I go here, but see,
Oh,
one of my homegirls is turning 113 on Tuesday.
Oh, the
really?
one that the Tyler right?
Yeah, oh,
Yeah,
Grace be knowing. Grace
yeah,
knows.
yeah.
She turned on her, and she called me, and
Oh,
she's like, Veronica, they having a dinner for my birthday. Now this is Black Children. It's in the week. She's in Massachusetts. She's like, oh, they're having a dinner, so I want you to be there. I said, yes, I will see you there. Like Black Children's Book Week, cool.
Right.
I
That
gotta.
better.
So I was like, I would like to go to some of it, and I'll probably get a couple, but I gotta go to Massachusetts because she said so, and
Oh,
I'll be
yes.
there. I'll be there, and there's an event in New Haven on Wednesday, but I saw this sold out. I was like, I'm gonna have to call, be like, can I come, please?
Oh
Because
my goodness.
I was gonna go to the event on my way back from Massachusetts, and then I went to click, and I was like, "Oop, I missed it." And I was like, "Can I call somebody, please? Like, can I please
Right.
come to
Somebody
your
knows
Black Children's Book
somebody.
Week event in New Haven?" So I
We're
gotta
trying
go
to get
beg somebody
in.
to let me in.
Oh my gosh. Well, it's gonna be fun. You're gonna have a
Yes.
wonderful week as always, and so we are definitely ready in the great state of Oklahoma. And I
Thank y'all
mean,
so much. Honestly, like
yes,
that's like because again, the design is like y'all no one else outside of Oklahoma can do what y'all doing inside of Oklahoma. That's why it has to be structured the way it is because like who knows our communities better than us? Like why it wouldn't make sense for like somebody based in New Jersey to be like trying to organize something. That's why I love the collaborative nature of this week, and I love that so many friendships have been built and so many new relationships have been established as a result of working towards that. And that, listen, that's my favorite. That's my favorite part. We find our people doing Black Children's Book Week.
yes, that is definitely most certainly.
So thank y'all so
Most
much. Thank you so much for having me on this. I had
You're
so much
welcome.
fun.
You did, and one day when you come to Oklahoma, I'm gonna have you meet my sister, and y'all will be like twins. I'm like,
My
oh,
Libra
just
sis.
yes, you be just.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Okay, that's a date. All right, so guys, make sure you go and follow Black Children's Book Week. We are so excited to be a part of that, wherever that it may be. And like she said, you can take this initiative and do it within your own city or state, wherever that you are, because our children need us. We are the village,
Mhm.
and we need to make sure that we are represented and we're doing what we need to do for education. Now, Oklahoma, I'm not going to get on my soapbox, but we already, what, 45th, 46, 48, somewhere in there about education.
mm,
Come on now, we can do better. We can do better
Oh, yes,
as
we
far as for
can.
ourselves. So we got to start with us. So we're the
Mhm.
community, and we're trying to bring this to the notion. So thank you for tuning in to the second segment of Share the Tea Tuesdays. I know it's been a long night, but don't forget to follow me on social media. I'm on all of them except for Snap with the Chat at Share the Tea with V, and then also remember to be intentional, be insightful, and definitely be impactful in everything that you do. And until we meet again, you guys be blessed. See you later, ladies.
Bye.
mm.
Bye.